Good morning. Where's your phone?
It's over here.
Oh. Did you put a thing on Facebook saying we're going live?
No.
Oh, did I do that?
You are.
Obviously, Galen has a new toy.
I've had like a month now, but.
Well, it's newer. How would you describe it?
A guitar.
Cool.
I bought a guitar.
If you're new to joining us, we are doing Cockpit Coffee. We live on our sailboat, and we do this every Sunday morning. Just switched over to doing it on YouTube in the last few weeks. And we're just hanging out, enjoying the sunshine. Probably going to play some music.
I gotta plug the other end of the cord in.
That helps.
Always plug the cord into the amp before you plug it into the guitar, because that sounds awesome. No, I'm not gonna play classic rock. Yeah, I was working on a reggae version of that though.
You were, yeah, it was something pretty cool.
Baby, when I think about you. I forgot how I went.
Very bright out here. I'm not complaining. We'll take the sunshine.
I don't know if they can hear this. I won't be able to sit like this for too long. Yes. Those people saying shit.
I'm trying to find it.
On YouTube, let me see.
I just found it.
Oh.
It took me a while to find you out.
It's in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Oh, here.
Here, why don't you bring it up? I haven't done that before, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
I was gonna shit last week because they're after in alphabetical order. It's sunny here too, but 46 of your freedom units. Guess who that is?
3 guesses, and they all start with K.
Hey, Christina, how are you? 46 up there? Wow, that's a little chilly. Your mother's on too.
So 46 Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
In March? In Canada?
Fahrenheit, freedom units.
That's not bad. 46 on a March day. It's
typical.
That's what I meant. It's like that's not exactly unusual. It's not normally 70 in March. in Maine and above. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, everybody else joining us. Get a few little boats zinging around us.
I think those people that were gonna stop by.
Well, I was going to say a couple came by on a dinghy while you were setting up, and I heard them say "Wah, wah, couple," "Wah, wah," and so I'm like, I bet those are those people. Little trawler came in last night down the way. It's cute.
Well, he's been here for a couple days.
Yeah, I know. But not that long in the scope of things. Oh, they're going like up that little channel. I think there's like a little channel up there we haven't seen. Ooh, Mom says happy Sunday and misses us. Christina says it's short sweater. And Bill Davis is on. Good morning, Bill. That probably means Val is with you. Good morning, Val. Yeah. So we got Mini Pearl going.
This is not Mini Pearl.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. The other one's Mini Pearl. Yeah. Have you given this one a name yet?
I've been calling her Meow Meow.
Meow Meow.
Because she's pretty sexy. Yeah, so this is my new, not even new to me, new, got it from the store, picked it off the shelf, wasn't expecting to buy it, and ended up buying it. Kind of like when Pickles, like we went in to go get a cat, we weren't going in to get that cat, but Pickles kind of reached out from the thing and grabbed me and said, hey, I'm coming home with you. And that's kind of what this guitar did. And
there.
Yeah, so it's a Gretsch 5237 Electromatic. Nice. I mean, it's a mid-range Gretsch, but for me, that might as well be a country gentleman. It might as well be, you know, a friggin' $3,000 guitar, because, you know, I've been plunking away on these little $300 guitars.
This feels fancy. Let's look at all the gold. Like, hold it up just a little bit so they can see like all the gold hardware.
All gold hardware.
So sharp. Chap.
Built-in locking strap locks. Very unique to Gretsch. They actually screw and actually put a washer in so they can't come out. Yeah, so a Bigsby tremolo system. So it doesn't give like a deep like a, but it gives a little shimmer when you want it. Yeah, it's a nice electric guitar. Wasn't expecting to use it in our live shows, really, but now it's kind of like coming to yeah, it's convincing us that it needs to be. Yeah, so it's this might make stage appearances after all. We wanted to kind of revamp our show anyways. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you just want to freshen it up. You don't want to, you know, I don't want to be that guy that, you know, fucking 10 years from now is playing the same songs the same way, you know. And there's people that do that. That's great. I mean, Kiss made an entire career out of being a Kiss cover band, you know. But I just want to, for me, it's about evolving, and it's interesting because we were heading towards more like even a more pared down show than what we had. I know. But then we started thinking about, you know, what we want to do and where we want to play, and it's like, well, maybe. And then this thing popped up, so. It's like magic. Mom says, Galen keeps buying guitars and you're going to need a bigger boat.
And Bill Davis
Good idea, Martha.
And Bill Davis immediately afterwards said, "You're going to need a bigger boat."
All right, so they're on board. They fucking get it.
On board. Perfect.
Yeah.
Kaylin wants a bigger boat.
Because yeah. And that's the whole thing too. Yeah, kind of making, you got to look at the future and make plans now for later. So.
Future's so bright. Gotta wear a shade.
Yeah, I think.
Gotta wear a shade.
Looking at it's either like a small catamaran, because we can't afford a big catamaran unless we get like a hurricane special or something.
If we flew down to Grenada and paid to live there for like a month or so in a cheap $300 hotel, $300 apartment, I bet you we'd find I bet we could find a bigger catamaran. But
I don't know.
With a bigger catamaran comes, it's a lot more expensive to put it in a slip if you need to, stuff like that.
Yeah, but we don't go to slips. That's the thing.
Not that much.
So I wouldn't mind having a catamaran. We're seriously thinking about a small catamaran, because those are somewhat affordable. Oh. They're affordable. They retain their value still.
Yes.
And
more so than older sloops like ours do, actually.
And they have a bit more room than this boat. They're a lot faster.
Shaped differently in a way that would accommodate us a lot more.
Yeah, our lifestyle.
Not everybody, but us. Like, for instance, we've got a friend that's got a smaller one right nearby that he just finished doing a whole bunch of work to, and we were looking at his quarter berth, which is like a little room on the back part of the catamaran in one of the pontoons.
It's not even I guess it is a quarter berth.
Yep, and it's got a bed and all that, but we could actually take that bed out, configure. There's so much wall space. We could actually store like 60% of our gear in like secured, built-in custom things for our musical equipment. So like the guitars would be like up against the wall and secured there, and things like that. And there'd be so many.
Yeah, I just put shelves in. You make it sound really fancy. I'm literally.
Well, and then something to keep them from falling over. And stuff. But it's something that we could customize. Like that room could be our music supply room, and it would just be set up for it really nicely. And then we'd still have 2 staterooms, or essentially bedrooms.
Full queen size beds.
Full queen size beds, 2 of them.
Like I could go buy a queen size mattress and just plop it down there without having to cut foam or anything like that.
You don't have to crawl up into the V berth. You just get into the bed.
You just crawl up into that.
It's not
to be fair.
But it's not as awkward.
Not as awkward.
And there's a little bit more headroom.
You climb, unless you're on the other side. That's the part I don't like about it is you can't access the bed from both sides. I did kind of hope that if we upgraded boat at some point, we'd have an aft cabin and where you can actually walk on either side of the bed. So like you get up in the middle of the night, like if we're both sleeping in the V berth and one of us has to pee in the middle of the night, you have to like scrunch yourself up against the wide part and then swing your legs out over the other person and hope they don't suddenly move. It's not the most, it's fine, but it's not the most awesome thing in the world. And it would be awfully nice to be able to just walk to your side of the bed, get out of your side of the bed. I miss that. And then there comes the Thailand. The boats made in Thailand from this era, the 80s.
Which were originally what I really wanted to get before we got Molly. That's what
we weren't ready for that. Yeah. We weren't ready for a boat in the 50 to 60 foot range. But we definitely can handle that now.
My dream boat before we got Molly was a Formosa.
And that's one, Formosa 51, Tachao. I'm big into the Tachao.
You have to say it like that, apparently.
And they're like 50, and really, if they're 54, 56, depending on what year they were made, but they're all called, I think they're all called 54s, or Thailand was kind of like the Wild West in the 80s of boat building. It's like all these designers, like, trying to make a name for themselves, and some that had, did have a name for themselves were like, just having boats built over there, and the builders were just kind of like, nah, that's a good idea, but we're going to do it differently. And so it's kind of like some of these boats from over there, just they're not quite up to specs, but they've been sailing since the 80s, and they're fine. They're beautiful boats.
They're solid, and they hold their value, and they are interesting. And like things like the Formosas have all this wood carving inside the boat that's just absolutely beautiful. Like you shut the door, and the back of the door is all carved.
Yeah, that's one thing about all of those boats. They have like carvings. All the woodwork has
There's a
carvings.
very Taiwanese thing.
Really strange.
Or not Taiwanese.
Thailand.
Thailand based.
Thailandish.
Thailand.
Thai.
Thai. Hello.
Duh.
Not enough coffee yet. Yeah, that tends to be. I see a boat like that, and I'm like, oh, that's one of the Thailand brands. Yeah, Formosa. Oh, and the Formosas have that aft cabin, like I was talking about, where you can walk around. The bedrooms in the back of the boat. The boat's kind of squared off in the back. You can walk around the bed. There's great cabinetry, and there's like little windows along the back behind the bed, so that you can see out, and you can open them and get breeze, and you're like, ah.
If you don't know what a Formosa 51 is, go watch Captain Ron.
That's true. That Captain Ron movie was a Formosa 51.
Yep. One of those boats. When we were looking for this boat, one of the boats they used, the main boats they used for that movie, was actually for sale, and it was for a good. If that was for sale, it was like $35,000.
Yeah, it was something somewhat affordable for a boat.
But if that was for sale now, I'd be like, oh shit, still can't afford it.
Yeah. They're very romantic boats. They're the kind of boats you look at and you're just like, I just want to sail away on this and live on this and follow my dreams and play music, meet interesting people. They inspire that. But those little catamarans, like we've been looking at, the great thing about that is that if we bought one, you can turn around and sell it for the same amount of money. So even if we got one and just only used it for 5 years or so, we could turn right around and sell it, and probably not lose anything on it. And that's attractive.
Yep.
Plus, spatially, I just think they have these big, as you can imagine, because catamarans are shaped kind of like a big square versus like Molly, and she's like this long pointed thing. And the catamarans, you just have this feeling of more room. There's like generally a huge seating area, like a dinette that can a lot of the ones that we've seen, even the small one that our friend has here, you could probably fit 10 people sitting in there.
Maybe
at least 6 or 7.
Anybody saying anything?
Yes, I just looked a second ago. And the cockpit is huge and wide too.
It's so funny that they're so much faster than regular boats because they basically you're sailing a square.
Yeah, it's weird. Dean says hi.
Hey Dean, how's it going? So I'm gonna do, I don't know if it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna do a thing on my pedal board. And that's gonna be a little more boring for some, way more exciting for others. I'm not going to get too geeky about it, but I am going to go over the pedal board I'm using for this guitar and why I put it together and the sounds it makes. And it'll be interesting to some people, that's for sure. So if you don't even know what that is, that's a pedal board is where you put your effects pedals, and your effects pedals are things like that give it distortion, chorus, things like for right now. I'm using a chorus. This amp, little tiny amp I'm using, has a. So this is. That's my dry signal right there. That's not even my dry signal. That's with reverb. Where's the
My amp.
reverb?
It's a really cute amp.
It's a nice amp. Roland. So that's dry. I don't even know if you can hear that, but
I'm pretty sure
this is reverb. It's not a bad reverb either.
I've kind of got my mic pointed at you, so I'm pretty sure they can.
So you hear the trail off that. Usually these things are done with pedals. Amps have them in it too, but and this is the chorus. The shimmery kind of. Yeah, so that's that's like an effects, like these like little pedals. Some of them are really little, and they emulate. Some of them emulate pedals that cost thousands of dollars, but they're the same circuit. And but you know, they've, like the Klon pedal was made in the 70s, I believe, and they it was a really nice distortion, and they did a couple of tricks like back in the day weren't well known what they did. And what they did is they covered the whole back of the circuit board. Well, it was a guy made these. It wasn't a huge company, and he covered the back of it with this goop, so so no one could copy his circuit. After decades, people eventually chipped away all the goop and found out, but because of the mystery involved in it, and because it was a really great pedal, they go for like $5,000 to $8,000 now for the original Klons, and he only made a few hundred of them. But everybody makes a Klon clone, and
Clone.
yeah, and mine's a little tiny thing. The original Klon's like that big, and my Klon is like that, and
it's on the pedal board easy.
Emulates not only the gold version but the silver version, so it has basically it's two pedals and two heritage pedals. But you know, that's the thing with electronics nowadays and manufacturing. You can just get this done for so cheap, and that one cost me like under $80.
Christina said, "Okay, I was thinking Galen's going to play guitar and paddleboard, so she's still here for it."
Paddleboard?
Yeah, I think she misheard you at first. I think she thought you were gonna, like you were saying, you were gonna play guitar and paddleboard,
like
not a pedalboard.
Oh, paddleboard, like on the water.
While playing guitar, yes. And she's like, "I'm so here for it."
I was thinking more like with a. Never mind. The paddle.
And the Hambies have joined, and they are camping and having mimosas.
Of course they are. When are they not?
From the hot tub.
Ooh.
Well, there you go. And they like my hat. Galen likes me in hats. I like hats because the sun isn't in my face. I like this one, though.
Little Tom Petty for you for being in the hot tub. I don't know why. Tom Petty hot tub music.
Should be like feeling hot, 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 or something like that. Who did that?
Very sloppy Tom Petty. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I did it in a. I did it as a Christmas because I'm not a.
Sorry, it just came back to me.
Christmas music person, traditional Christmas music. My favorite Christmas song is "Fairy Tale in New York" by the Pogues. But
second only to "I'm Mr. Heat."
So yeah, so I did a version. You can find it on the YouTube channel, I believe. It's poke around for it. There's a bunch. I haven't organized anything on the YouTube channel, and I apologize for that. But it's me singing "Heat Miser." If you remember, oh shit, what was the name? Something like the.
I'm not sure.
Was it The Boy Who Saved Christmas? The with Heat Miser and Cold Miser. What was the?
Maybe. I don't remember.
What was that movie? Anyways, so I did the Heat Miser, Cold Miser medley, and then that went into somewhere it did have a traditional song I think, I don't know if I did it in that recording or not, but I used to like, in between the songs, I do the drum. He told me, but it was kind of like in that funk groove. And then I immediately went into Hot, Hot, Hot by Buster Poindexter, which, bye.
It was a great medley.
We lost
People like
Buster.
it.
Here's to Buster. We lost Buster.
Oh, that's right. Not that long ago.
No, but what's his name? Oh, shit. Because he was famous before he was Buster Poindexter. He was in the L.A. Shit, I can't think of any. New York Dolls.
I don't think I realized that.
Oh yeah. He was like a punk, kind of edge of glam rock sort of. Don't ask me the hits. I can't even think of his friggin' name. Help me out, folks.
Dean, fact checker.
Dean. I think he would know this off the top of his head.
He might.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name.
So the show was called The Year Without Santa Claus.
Year Without Santa Claus. Thank you.
Right, Dean, I'm waiting. Buster Poindexter.
Who came up with The Year Without Santa Claus?
Dean.
Yeah, of course, Dean.
This is literally Dean's job. He takes it very seriously, and we love it.
His unpaid.
I love how he always shows our lives about 5 minutes after we start, and he's like, "All right, I'm getting the computer up. Hang on, I'm getting ready."
He probably is. He's probably sitting.
Probably got 3 computers going, so we can like dual check.
He's got like 3 AIs.
Something running over here.
Listening to everything we say, running to everything. He's in a bunker. I don't know why.
With really good beer.
Yeah.
With very good
beer. And there's like cans and cans up on the shelf, but it's all second crack beer. and 1 can of tuna.
Oh my God. I want invitations to the bunker. I'm just saying.
Yeah, been in Dean's bunker.
David Roger Johnson. Oh, Johansson. David Roger
Johansson, thank you.
So it's kind of hard to see.
Johansson or Johansson or yeah.
David Roger Johansson. Thank you, Dean. Official fact checker of the Seal Bus. Where's Val today? She off doing Val things?
Sometimes she has to work.
Sometimes she does have to work.
Out of tune.
I was about to say, I'm like.
Yeah, that's the thing with electric guitars, but also it's the thing with nylon string guitars, and it's pretty much the thing with guitars. They just go out of tune.
Like from here, I could see my mother's eye go up.
Oh yeah, look at that. Especially when you bring it outside.
Well, yeah, and then we come out in the sunshine, and just everything's so affected. That's something about playing most of our gigs is outdoor gigs down here in warmer weather. It's that's a little bit of a talent in itself, just regulating your instrument and where you need to place it for the 20 minutes before you start, so everything will be.
You play keyboard.
I'm talking about you.
You're unaffected by any of this. You can overheat. That's
I was going to say I can overheat.
The only problem you have.
Yep. But I've watched you repeatedly have to mess with it because of temperature changes. That sounds really good for that song too. Anybody name the song?
Wait a minute. Here we go. If I don't fuck it up.
I really cannot see without my glasses out here. Yep, Mom says the official eye twitch. And Dean says, yes, Val is working.
Cool.
Can anyone name the song? We should just do that. Have you play songs and have people try to guess them. I bet you Bill will get.
Want me to do it again?
Well, nobody said they know.
I'll do it again. That was a hint, by the way.
Name that song. Hint number 2, it's a song we do. So if you've seen us more than once, Bill Davis. Wow.
Let's do it again.
It's literally called Do It Again.
That was your hint.
By Steely Dan.
What?
I was going to sing a little piece of it, but that's
Okay.
no. And go in the chorus. Back, Jack, do it again. Wheels turning round and round. Go back, Jack, do it again. That's the song. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs that we play.
So I have a one of the pedals I mentioned earlier actually has an organ sound. It's a Rhodes, a Fender Rhodes, that sounds very close to the record on that. So it's really fun. I can loop that. Of course, when she's playing keyboard, don't have to, but when I'm playing by myself, I can loop that Fender Rhodes playing that and then solo on top of it. I am learning, I have not learned yet, the sitar solo for that. Yeah, how did that go? It's a really cool sitar solo, which I also have the sound for.
There's a really cool keyboard solo in there too,
which they never do live.
They never do it live, and we haven't done it live. I'm a different keyboard player than I was when we started playing together in this configuration. And at the time that we first started doing Sail Bums, I don't think I felt confident doing that, but I should do it now. I should add it back in. It's a weird solo. It's very dissonant. Doesn't follow traditional thinking in terms of solo structure.
None of their solos for that band. Yeah.
Well, the Steely Dan, I love Steely Dan, and they were so jazz infused that they really kind of broke a lot of the conventional radio play rules in terms of style. I love that. Should embrace that. Let's see. What happened this last week that we haven't talked about with folks? Dean knew it was a hint. Those lines would sound so good on that guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got a new shower box.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It's over there next to you. So on the boat, when we want to shower, we use the sun shower if we don't go in and pay to use a shower. We have like one of those camp showers you just fill with like 4 or 5 gallons of water, and you hang it up and you wait until it's dark and come out in the cockpit and you take a shower. And it's Galen has wanted to put in a real shower pretty much ever since we left Maine initially, and we still haven't done it. And there's a place in our cockpit.
Not much to show. It's just to these out of my pocket and open it up,
But basically, there's a place in our cockpit where there's an autopilot that he's going to be removing because we're not using that module anymore, and it's going to leave a hole. And so we decided we're going to get a shower box.
Why not make a bigger hole?
To make a bigger hole. And when that box that he just showed is installed, it's only going to stick out about that far, and the rest will be recessed inside the coaming of the cockpit.
And it's lockable, so we could like potentially like leave, something in there, like an extra key to the boat or something. Yeah, so I mean, that's I like that. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that information, but It's a little lockable box. I don't know why it has to be lockable for the shower,
Well,
but
so it was actually designed. It's actually not designed for marine applications, but it's designed for RV applications, and it'll totally work for us. And the idea is, you don't want anyone to be able to walk up to your RV and just turn on the water and the water's going everywhere. You don't, because that would be on the exterior of your RV.
it'll be on the exterior of a boat too. So I
Exactly.
get it.
So yeah,
Nobody could just get in and just cause
and drain your
havoc.
water tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I get that. Kind of a pain in the ass, though. We're probably gonna end up just leaving the key in it, to tell you the truth. Because
Probably.
that lock is how you open it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not even completely sure if it will stay. Yeah, I don't even know if the little door will stay in place if you don't lock it. Like, you might have to turn the key.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it has to be.
We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it.
Because it locks, that's from the top and it drops down.
Yeah. Or we just put it on our keychains with the key for the boat, and we just use it just like we would getting on the boat.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Either way, it'll be really nice to have.
It's an upgrade, big time upgrade from what we're doing now, which is fucking nothing.
And it'll be really nice to have something that we don't have to fill something up with water and set it up just to like rinse off our feet if we go to the beach or something like that. I'm looking forward to being able to just rinse something really quick and not have it be a big deal and be out here in the cockpit doing it.
Yeah.
People coming by for a look, getting a look-see.
Yeah.
What else did we do this week? Oh, so this week was a little, we didn't do as much as we normally would this week. We were dealing with engine problems on our dinghy.
Yeah, the dinghy engine uncharacteristically decided to have a snit. And
it's been super reliable prior
it's been,
to that.
I was so pissed and disheartened because I had gotten used to the idea that our dinghy motor is completely reliable and that wherever I go, I don't ever have to worry about it starting. In fact, it starts almost every time first pull. If it doesn't start first pull, it's just something usually that I'm screwing up. Super reliable. I don't have to worry about Allison taking it back and forth. Don't have to worry about if we go 4 miles up the stream that we're going to have to row back or something. And then all of a sudden we're rowing and paddling and
sputtering.
It's not getting us, the 0.4 mile over to the friggin' marina. And when it is, it's like doing it super slow because it can't go faster and it'll flood out. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I went through a bunch, and it's that purgatory of you can't figure out what's wrong with it yet because it could be like half a dozen things and you're trying to narrow it down and you can't fix it until you figure out what's wrong. And everything I do, it worked for 10 minutes. And so I changed the spark plug and that gave it a little bit of renewed energy, and I could didn't give it energy, physics thing, but that, made it run for 10 minutes. So I did a test run all over the anchorage here, and I'm like, oh, good, that was all that was, and fixed it. We go in, and it friggin' dies on us. I'm like, oh my God. And then, it's gonna be a fuel line. Change the fuel line again, 10 minutes, bang. Oh, this is great. This is what fixed it. And then all of a sudden, no, it's not working again. So I went through days of that, and I'm like starting to feel like Cape May again, where I'm like just trying everything with an engine and it's just not working. And I'm like, then I realized, fuck this. I will go buy a new one. They're less than $700. I don't want to spend that money, but I have that money. I will go spend $700 on a new engine, and this fucking thing can sit there and wait until I want to work on it. But I said, I'll try one more thing. And I looked and there was a bunch of fuel coming out from under the fuel pump. The fuel pump's separate, so above the carburetor, but it's its own little separate thing. So I was like, oh, so I think that's where there's fuel leaking out from there. I thought it was from a line, but it's leaking out from there. Placed the order and did expedited shipping. So it'll be here within 2 to 3 business days. And that took a week. It came down to Jacksonville from wherever it came from. It came down to Jacksonville. They put it on a truck, sent it by us all the way down to West Palm, an hour south of us. And then it sat there for 2 days. And I'm looking at the tracking. I'm like, what the fuck? And I can't call, the people who sent it. It's not their fault. They sent it expedited shipping to the U.S. Postal Service. And I was like, and I don't know what happened, if somebody was having a bad day, but they took it down to West Palm and it sat there for 2 days. And then it came up here and it took them, once they brought it up here, it took them like all day to deliver it when it got up here. And I was like,
thank goodness we weren't, like desperately needing it right before we left and on a deadline to get somewhere for a gig.
I have to call Bill Davis to come down and rattle you guys and get your shit together.
This didn't happen when Bill was.
I know people. I know people. Hey, Pickles. Hey.
Pickles.
That's not, no.
That's a no zone.
Yeah.
Chewing wires.
Oh yeah, he was just going for it.
Yep, I could see him.
Yeah, he's in I'm going to explore and get into things.
Yep, you can see it in his eyes.
Oh yeah.
He has about 15 minutes of
and he looks around and he looks all around. And you can tell what he's going to go for because he'll look at that and just keep staring at it. And then all of a sudden
Yep.
And when he goes, he'll just go and just start.
And then we spend 15 minutes chasing him around going, no. And then he goes to sleep for 3 hours. So a bunch of people have commented a bunch of stuff. So
look at him.
Oh yeah.
He's knocking stuff off the table.
Typical cat.
Hey. Why don't you come out here and say hi?
Meow.
Come on, say hi.
So people are saying stuff. So Bill says, I think you're going to need a bigger dinghy with the bigger boat, so Galen can bring the guitar rack and his collection for shows. Oh man, don't put ideas in his head, Bill. So Dean, I love pretty much anything that Dean writes. You could just put in parentheses and it's part of the footnotes to our lives. I love it. So Dean says, Captain Ron, the boat featured is a Formosa 51, a type of catch-rig sailboat. Specifically, it's a 51-foot sailing yacht designed by William Garden, known for its spacious layout and classic design. And the Formosa 51 was chosen for its distinctive look and ability to handle the sailing scenes depicted in the movie. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. Hamby said it's a 751 key. Love me some pickle cat, he says. And there was more. Where'd it go? How did you get to the comments? It just disappeared on me. Sweet.
I can't see that screen, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
All of a sudden, the comments just went away on me. There were a couple more comments. Hamby was talking about if you guys come to North Carolina, he'll install the. He's like, that's an RV shower box. I'll install that for you.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to take a shower before that. There you go.
Normally, Galen's doing the comments since we started doing YouTube because my phone's being used for the actual YouTube thing.
So they love me some pickle cat. No, it actually wasn't the carburetor. It was the that fuel pump.
Yep, and it finally did come, and he put the new.
Oh yeah.
He put the new fuel pump in last night.
To finish the story, yeah. It came. Yeah, what she said. It came. It took me 3 minutes down on the dinghy docks to put the new one in, and when we came back, it was fine. But
Yep. But of course, those things never happen at a convenient time. So, you know, last week was the point where I had like 3 loads of laundry that had racked up that I really needed to do. I really needed to change the beds, and that would have been like another load of laundry. So 4 loads of laundry I needed to do. And if we were rowing back, we didn't want that extra weight in the dinghy. Oh, there was something else. Oh, water. Yeah, we were really low on water. So we didn't want the extra weight of the water in the dinghy either if we had to row back. So we were getting by with a small amount of water and going, please don't get any lower, please don't get any lower. So it's all fine, but it's like those things never happen in a convenient moment when you don't need anything. It's always like, wait, what? We can't get water? We can't wash clothes? We can't get groceries?
oh, I'm gonna put this down because it's angle. I have to hold it. It's killing my back.
I still have to catch up with the laundry. I haven't done that yet. I did do 1 load last night when we went in, but we weren't completely sure that part was going to be there yet because this was just last night he fixed it. So I just brought 1 load in to shore. Like, at least let me have some clean underwear. That'd be good.
I'll put her away for now. But yeah, I'm gonna come out here like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm gonna set up the BAM, and I'm gonna go through my pedal board and make a bunch of weird sounds and see what you guys think. That I designed. I know it sounds like, oh, you know, he's gonna start playing freaking metal now. Like, it's not like that at all. Most of the sounds are just enhancing, but because this is an amazing sounding guitar, just phenomenal sounding guitar. So I don't try to hide that with a lot of effects. I just try to, if I want a little dirt on it, I give it a little dirt, a little bit of compression to bring out some of the tonal characteristics and boost the line level.
Although I have to say, last night you honed in on that sound from Take Me. So Dean might be the only person on the live that might remember this.
I don't know. We didn't release Take Me.
I'm pretty sure I gave a copy to Val.
We give a copy to Val. We give everything to Val.
I think Val has all the old
Groove Wheel
music from the band that we met playing and put out an album. But Take Me wasn't actually on that album. That was like an extra.
No.
But Val's been a super fan, super friend for way long. And we had a song that we used to do called Take Me that was really quite political in nature and pertinent to current culture. But I haven't thought about it for years. And he was messing around with his pedals last night and different sounds.
It was political.
Okay. And and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, play that again. And I'm like, you know what that reminds me of? And I was like, no, add this note in. I didn't even know what that was. Maybe the 6 or something like that. But I'm like, and I'm like, that's like Take Me. Remember Take Me? And he started playing it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because Take Me used a modulated delay as part of the groove.
Take me
on bass.
Take me higher.
And what I was doing is I was doing a I'll bore you with it now, but I figured out this really cool thing where I've got 2 lines of effects in parallel. So the line up here does not affect anything down here. Line down here does not affect anything up here. So whatever effects I turn on here aren't added to what's going on here. So I can have a distortion up here, but I can have a delay down here, but it just delays my clean signal. And that's what I was messing with. And I used a modulated delay. So I had like a bit of a chorus, and that's what that sound was. I didn't know it at the time because the one I used at the time was just, I was using one of those boxes, those Digitech, everything's kind of pre-made. And it just happened to have modulated delay on it that I was screwing around with, and that I came up with that riff. But that's what you were hearing, and it was like, oh wait, that sounds familiar. And it took me a while to remember what that riff is, especially because I'm playing guitar, not bass, and but I eventually I got it, and I was like, oh man, that's
when you were playing with your headphones on for quite a while after that, I'd made dinner and we were both kind of just doing different things, and then all of a sudden you took the headphones off like half an hour later and started playing it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's that's totally it.
Yeah, so no, that was fun. But anyways, that whole thing, the whole pedal board is set up for like yacht rock and trop rock, the stuff we do. So it's, I mean, that's that keyboard emulator that I bought has like a mallet thing on it. I mean, come on, it does mallets, it does steel drums, but it also
sounds really cool.
But it also does the road stuff. I mean, it's basically yacht rock in a box, yacht and trop rock.
So Dean, you'll have to ask Val for us if she's got a copy of "Take Me Somewhere." She'll remember the song, I'm pretty sure.
If not,
I've got a folder here on board that has a whole bunch of our original lyrics, like the original pieces of paper that had our lyrics on it, and I'll bet that's in that folder.
And
I was pretty careful about keeping a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of, I don't know. I'm mixed about our old stuff. Yeah, I'm mixed about our old stuff.
I would add a number of our older songs into our current rotation. Galen doesn't want to.
It's very unlike us. We were in a different place emotionally. We were in a different time politically. We were a much more political band.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of angst and divorce.
There was a lot, yeah. There was just a lot. I mean, it was basically your breakup album.
It really was. Even though he did most of it. Which I
wrote.
Yeah, he wrote most, and most of it was written before we were together romantically. A good chunk of it. But we were in the band together, and he was witnessing all this. It was just weird
how it worked out like that. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I don't want to really shine a light on a lot of that stuff, but Take Me, I would. But you know what? Another one though that's really cool that would fit, that might fit into is oh shit. Now I remember sending this to Val.
I can think of several.
Fooled Around. That was never released.
I think Yesterday's News would fit with what we do now.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe a retool of that. I'm gonna rewrite Superman. I love the groove so much.
I love the groove.
Yeah,
I think about like the whole message of Superman was in as I recall, and also this is something kind of interesting. Galen did most of the writing for that band, but I was the one that sang a lot of it, and I stylized a lot of it vocally after he wrote it a certain way, and then I kind of changed things here and there. And so I feel, even though I did not write the songs, I feel connection to it. Plus a lot of the stuff that you wrote was inspired by what was going on in my life at the time. So I feel that connection to it. But my feelings toward the songs are not always the same as yours for those reasons. And that's kind of interesting. But for me, Superman was all about like, who's going to come in and save us? Where is Superman? Who's going to come in and fix all this that's broken? And it's a theme that would be well received today.
No. If
you
relook at the song, it would have to be changed. Yeah. And anyways, that was then. We're doing a whole new bag of tricks now. Speaking of that, I've been working, and I know, it's been a while, and I keep saying this. I'm still working on but I'm getting shit done. I was working on Face Down in the Yacht Club parking lot the other day. The drums for that were a mess. Oh my God. I don't know how I got done recording the drums for that and listened to it and said, that's acceptable, because they were absolutely not acceptable. I had to go in and friggin' tear everything apart. I had to use an AI program to take, because my drums all recorded on stereo track all at once. I don't have room to mic up an acoustic set here. They're all, and I don't have the money, time, or inclination to buy one of those rolling kits that sends a different instrument out to each channel. You know, it just sends a stereo out. So none of the tracks are separated. So I had to use an AI to separate my drum tracks. So I had snare, cymbals, and bass at least on a separate track. And then I took the tom fills from the original tracks. And so I had to like sample all the snare drum sounds that sounded like ass. I don't know what. I found a good snare drum, one good snare drum hit in that whole thing. And I sampled it and
Kevin.
let it, just copy pasted. Luckily, you can do that so easily nowadays. It's not like back in the day where you had to, we would just would have to re-record the whole thing. But by isolating the kick, I could get a good EQ on it, so that didn't sound bad. The toms weren't that bad, and then the cymbals I had to cut. It was just, oh my God, what a fucking mess. Just awful. And the levels were way off too. And the playing was sloppy. The playing, I had to go in and fix a little timing issues too. So it was uncharacteristically just a horrible track, and took me 2 days to sort all that stuff out. But
you did.
Yeah, I did, and hopefully, and conversely, swinging around is, I think that was like 2 takes, and the whole thing is almost finished.
Well, it's kind of a simple song, but that doesn't always hold true. Yeah, when you're doing stuff. It's funny. Kevin just came by on his dinghy, and we were telling him last night that we can hear him coming from around the corner, and we know it's Kevin that's coming before we ever look. And he's like, "Really? You can tell it's my engine?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Because
he's the only one one of the very few people that blast through here. But it's okay. His dinghy, is like a little tiny. It's small as ours, and it's a planing dinghy.
He doesn't do it.
It doesn't. He's always worried about, because Darren was giving him shit because he was over there and he was making turns and stuff. And if you make turns, you're gonna throw a wake. On a calm day, everybody's gonna feel that. And Darren was like, "Hey, do me a favor, stop doing that." And he's like, and Kevin's a nice guy, so he's like, he's super.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
He's like super paranoid that he's going by us causing a wake. I'm like, if you're on a plane going in a straight line, you're not speeding up, you're not slowing down, you're not turning the corner, you're
fine.
We don't feel you. You're lightweight, especially when you by yourself. You just skim along the top of the water.
We hear him though, because he only has stopped and wee.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't have too many speeds. Yeah, it's like idle and wee full. It's like there's like that space between that's all viable. But we saw Ray.
Oh yeah.
The other day, yesterday, it was region. We thought it might be an alligator or something, but it was I kind of enticed it to come over by splashing the dinghy painter in the water, and it came over underneath the boat. We could just see under the surface.
It was big too. It was probably at least 3 feet across.
Mid-size, yeah.
But I think that was the first stingray I've seen up here.
We saw a dolphin a couple days ago here too, and they normally don't come up this far up in the river.
So we were saying there hasn't been a ton of rain the last week or so. The salination must be a little higher in the river right now because all of a sudden stuff's coming up.
They might have figured out that there's just a shit ton of fish.
There are tons of fish.
Tons of fish. The guy was net fishing, and you never see him getting anything net fishing. This guy, he was just pulling net after it. It's like, I heard him one time, he's going, "Holy shit!" And he's like you know, you
I
hear the
didn't know
fish hitting the bottom of the boat as he's putting it in, and like he fished for like 15 minutes, and his boat was full of fish, and he went home.
Yep.
He came back too after a
Yep.
while. It's like, yeah. Can I have the coffee, please?
Yeah, there are certain like in the twilight kind of hours, every once in a while, you just see them like jumping all over the place, and it's bigger fish or chasing, or something's chasing the smaller fish, and all the little fish or medium-sized fish are jumping all over the place. And we'll see somebody fishing like right around the corner of the mangroves from where they're all jumping, and we're like, you need to go over there.
If you're into fishing, and I'm surprised more people don't do this, I don't think I've had anyone do it. If you're into fishing and you're in a cove and there's a boat anchored out there and there's people sitting out on that boat, absolutely go over to that boat, because we're not trying to protect some secret fishing hole. We don't give a shit. We're just out here having our coffee or playing our music or whatever. And just come up to us and say, hey, where are the fish jumping? And I'll be able to point there. Because I will know exactly at any given time, if I'm out here for more than 5 minutes, exactly where the fish are in this bay. And I can save you a lot of time. You can go out there and get some fish.
Yep, it's a good point. Yeah, if you see people hanging out in their cockpit, they absolutely have seen where are the fish jumping today.
9 times out of the 10, they're by those mangroves that you're looking at right now.
Back there.
It's like, it boils like probably 3 or 4 times a day over there.
Mike says he loves me some Pickle Cat.
Yeah, he's calmed his shit.
Oh, he's just sitting on the table.
Scratching his face. Now. Yeah.
He had a favorite soft food because we were trying to fatten him up.
Oh my God.
He'd lost so much weight when we were figuring out that he had hyperthyroidism. And so we finally got him so that he would eat this one soft food, and we bought a ton of it. And then he was like, I'm not eating that anymore. So we've been trying to get something into him that he is enjoying. And I think we finally got a formula down where he gets bored. And I don't blame him. We get bored of food, right? So like if I give him the same kind of cat food too many days in a row, he'll just turn his nose up at it. So I'll do the salmon for a couple days, and then do turkey, and then go back to the salmon, and then I'll do a beef, and then go back to the salmon. And then he seems to be fine. And same thing with treats. He got sick of his treats and was just like, no. And now the ones that we've got going, he's all excited about. And if we wind up in North Carolina, there were treats up there that he went crazy for. So we'll have like a stockpile of the North Carolina treats again if we go up there.
Yeah.
A very finicky kitty. He's doing well though. He's been pretty healthy the last few months.
Yeah.
Putting on a little bit of weight.
Yeah, well, I think he's lost a little bit recently.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he eats treats like you wouldn't believe.
Well, and I think some of that.
Go get his labs done again.
I think some of it was because I wasn't able to get the soft food in him for a couple of weeks because he just wasn't interested.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have to keep him like stuffing calories into him. You know, he might need
the next level
up dose of that medicine, or we might have to take him and get the radiation therapy.
So we had the option of doing a procedure that's about $1,900 that would just wipe out his thyroid issues. But we've also heard from other people that they've taken their animals in to have that done and they just die.
One person, one animal.
True.
But still,
she's like, don't do that. I'm like,
it's a friend of ours, and it's kind of like, wow. So it made us, think twice about that. And we're like, well, it cost about the same, his life expectancy, to give him this medication, but if the medication, all of a sudden we have to up the dose.
Mm-hmm. And there may come a point where the medication just doesn't work anymore, and we have the option. It's like the procedure or not.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We need to take him in sometime soon. Anyway, he's about due. It's been about a year since his last appointment, I think. So probably not a bad idea. I actually was totally expecting at some point for it, because I always have to have the doctor approve the medication when I order refills from Chew. They always contact the doctor's office, and I've just been waiting for the no, we can't do this anymore until he comes in for another appointment. It's like,
Yeah.
in which case we just take him in.
I'm taking, yeah.
Possibly a different doctor.
Yeah, possibly. I think he could also give us a medical marijuana license.
Pretty sure almost everybody in that office
Oh,
was coked up every time we went in. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Whew, what's everybody doing today? Big plans?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Big plans. What's going on? We've got doing laundry, I think.
Yeah, we can go in and do the rest for our laundry if you want. We can go to a laundromat and do it all at once, or we can do it at the marina and spread it out this next week. Either way.
Whatever. It's cheaper to do it here, isn't it?
It is cheaper.
Oh,
Yep. And now that the dinghy's working, I could just do a load every couple of days till I'm caught up.
Priority now is getting a new prop for us and getting that put on.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of what I'm going to be doing today is looking at all the boneyards around and trying to find a prop suitable for the boat. It's interesting. I'm open to switching to a 3-blade prop. I expected there's props there's a couple of different things. It needs to be a left-hand turn. Our prop goes left-hand to go forward. Just you have left hand, right hand. So we need a left-hand prop. Not a big deal. It's not like one's any more rare than the other. It's just what you need. Needs an 1.25 inch tapered, standard taper shaft, which is for that size prop, very common. What we have now and what is the boat was designed to go on is a 17-inch diameter 2-blade. So it's got 2 blades, 17 inches in diameter. Fine. The other part of this is the pitch, the amount that the blades are angled. The pitch is a measurement where if you had like a block of like what's the word that like a block of like jelly, like shit, what's it called, when you shoot a gun into
shoot, Dean.
Yeah,
what's the
think of it, it's
ballistic gel.
Ballistic gel. If you had like a block of ballistic gel and you had the prop on it and you turned it one entire turn, it would move through that gel 17 inches. So not only is it 17 inches in diameter, it just happens that the pitch is 17 as well. And you can have different pitches. A 13 pitch will move that blade 13 for one rotation. 20 inch, it'll move it 20 inches. So I figured from all the research that I did on it was if I'm switching to a 3-blade prop, there's more surface area. So to match your horsepower, you either need to come down like 1 inch in diameter or go down 1 inch in pitch. And so I figured a 17-16, maybe a 17-15. And you figure, well, okay, that's only going to move you 15 inches for every rotation. But you got to remember, there's also something called slippage. A 3-blade prop has much less slippage than a 2-blade prop. I'm getting way too technical for this, but I was expecting everybody that had a 3-blade prop to have like a 17, 16, 17, 15. And I put it out there on the Endeavor 37 owner site, and the two people that answered me said they had 17, 13. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound right at all. And I'm like, but two different people said they had it. And I need to contact them and say, what do you have for transmission? Did you change your transmission to make that 17-13 work? Because I would think with a 13-inch pitch, that's only moving 13 inches for every rotation. And even with less slippage, I would think this, you know, if I'm going 4.5 knots at 18 RPM, you know, I don't want to go 2200 RPM in that old engine just to get up to my 4.5 knots that I want to go.
And then I stop and think about, you know, a lot of boaters are not boaters like we're boaters. Like they take their boat out 5 times a year and they don't go very far.
Yeah, if you're not
there's a very big difference between relying on your prop for that sort of thing versus what we do.
Yeah, because I mean, if we're on unfortunately, we have to go on a schedule sometimes. When we came down here, we had to motor a lot. And if you're talking for every, you know, every rotation, you're going a percentage smaller, and you've motored for 30 hours, you know, that adds up. That lost distance adds up. Because I'm not going to run the engine extra hot because she's an old engine, and you know, this is a sailboat. I try to sail most of the time. I try not to rely on the engine. When I do, I cruise whatever my speed is at 1900 RPM, 1800, 19 RPM. That's what it is. Yeah. I do not. If I'm going to miss a bridge or something's happening and I need to crank it, I'll crank it for like, you know, 30 seconds at most. But I do not run this engine hot because, you know, past experiences too.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to tax it. So Christina says she's cooking today, making bread.
Oh, Christina.
Slow cooking chicken, fried rice, corn salad, boiling eggs, and listening to us. That's a lot. Sounds like she's food prepping for the week there.
Oh, my God.
Sounds amazing. What kind of bread are you making?
Yeah.
And of course, Dean was right there with the ballistic gel.
Nice. Thank you, Dean.
Yep.
Ballistic gel.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Jello, that'll work too. The point is, it's through a solid. Anything that blade could go through a solid. Then it's not, there's no slippage. But anyways.
Yeah.
That's all theoretical numbers anyways. So that's, yeah. So anyways, I got to figure out what the deal is with that 17-13 prop, because I really think 17-15, 17-16 would be good. Bottom line is I can't find none of that I mentioned that I wanted anywhere. So, but that was like a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna.
True. Yeah, I would call the marine place again, because you don't know what they might have gotten in. There's a place called Marine Liquidators around here that has a lot of some new, but a lot of used but in great condition stuff. And pretty much everyone we've talked to in the last 2 weeks has been like, "Did you try Marine Liquidators?"
Yeah, but they wanted like $480 for
a used one.
I can get one built for $680.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can get brand new for $680, I'm gonna do that. So that's my other option. So
yeah. But the reason we're technically, so we had a guy that dove on our boat that we really trust. There's a group of brothers down here that does diving and cleaning boats, and one of them is a captain and does deliveries, and we just really trust them. And he did a dive on our boat, cleaned it, said the prop isn't gonna like fall apart next week, but definitely by the end of
he wasn't telling us anything we didn't know.
But he said, you know, probably maybe by the end of the summer, you really should have a new prop on here because of this, that, and the other thing. And he took video for us and everything. super helpful to have that sort of information. So
yeah, but we knew that. We knew,
yeah.
I knew exactly where that prop was in its term of his life expectancy. He just reiterated it, and I'm glad he did. And he took some video to show the additional degradation of it.
So we're going to have to get another bottom cleaning from them before we leave here, and so when we know they can put that prop on for us. So we're hoping to get that prop before, so that we can get that work done before we leave here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways,
yeah,
we should probably head out pretty soon. Actually, get something done. Let's see.
Christina says weekly prep. The bread is half whole wheat, half white. Nice.
Ah.
And it's Leslie in Bangor just popping to say hello. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, folks. People rolling up, guys. Yeah, we'll probably get some lunch, get some things done, go in now that our engine is working great. We'll knock for me, and then get some laundry done. And I'm not sure what else. I was gonna make bread this week, but we got groceries and they were having a 2-for-1 sale, so we got lots of bread right now.
Yeah.
So that's all right. I'll make bread next week. Two for one is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to haul out my toys and mess with some of that. I still haven't had that out here on a full range speaker to see.
We'll do it.
What that's going to be like.
Today's a good day for it.
For if we're talking about doing this in a show. We're also, I don't know. You know what? Let's do like an internet show. Just, it doesn't have to be a big deal or a big thing. Let's just get on and do a few songs, maybe like half an hour or so. With the electric, and actually let's use the and you can play either bass or keyboard, whatever you want to do, but let's use the trio.
Okay.
And see what that feels like, and see how people respond to that, and see how we feel doing something like that.
All right.
Just to explore it.
Okay.
I go back and forth on that.
Yeah. I at the end of the day, we just have to do what feels right to us and what feels good, but also somewhat authentic. And
we could, lofty idealism is great. But, also if it gets in your way of your creativity, is it really all that great? So
it's sort of like your sexual life over time. Things evolve. Your thinking changes after a while.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Trying to find the more direct analogy in those circumstances.
Like, I did think this. I understand why I did. But now.
The particular pedal that supplies drums and bass kind of automatically. It's not I guess technically it's a drum machine, but it bases, it's not like it's not programmed, nothing's programmed. It listens to what you do and plays. Like a drummer would.
It would be like if you had Bobby Durant in the room, our old drummer, and
it's not that good, but
like if you're like, hey Bobby, I'm gonna play something, play with me, but don't really tell him what to play. That's basically what the trio does.
And
it listens to you and it goes, oh, well, I'm gonna add this.
It's a bassist and a drummer in a box. I called it band in a box. It's a bassist and a drummer, and it listens to what you're doing and plays along with you. Sometimes it's fucked up. Sometimes you get a groove that you weren't expecting, but you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of neat. So that's the part of it I like. Is like if you start a song and it listens and you hit it and tell it to go, and it starts playing something like really different and weird than you thought you were getting, then
You're like,
maybe
"Ooh."
that's the challenge of it. It's kind of like, okay, now we're playing this in halftime, or you know what I mean? It's kind of like you kind of have to be ready for that in a live setting. So I don't.
It's also if nothing else, and I think this is one of the major reasons that you got it. I could be wrong, but it is an amazing practice tool.
That's the only reason I got it. And a toy, it's fine.
It forces you to, like, it brings in things that you might not think of, and then you have to go off in another direction than your original thinking. It's an amazing practice tool.
It's really cool. Whether it's good for live performance, I don't know, but it might be good for internet performance. It might be good for that sort of thing where it's people didn't buy a ticket or not paying money to be here. It's just kind of like a fun thing. It's like, well, what can this do?
And good for inspiring things too. You're struggling with a concept for a song, and you're like, oh, I don't know what would be the right feel for this, and you play around with it and mess around with a bunch of different options and rhythms, and you're like, that's what I'm going for.
Oh, that's what I should do today, is I should dump Water Witch off that and onto, because that basically wrote the groove for Water Witch for us that we couldn't figure out.
Yeah, we had struggled. We've gone a couple different directions with it, and I'm just not happy with it. And it's not what I've been envisioning, but I'm not a drummer, and I'm having trouble expressing what I'm going for. And then all of a sudden one day he was screwing around with it, and I'm like, that's what I want right there. That is the feel that I want.
I had it for like 2 hours. That was like the second hour I had the pedal.
It's worth it right there, because it helped us finalize that.
I put that in there, and I was like, well, this has something like 10 different genres with 12 grooves each, for everything that we do. And it does something different, a little different every time.
And you can adjust the tempos.
And it's actually a Latin groove that it landed on for the verses, anyways.
Yep.
Really, really cool. So yeah, I've got to. But now that that's stored in there, because it has a whole bunch of storage slots, and it actually has a card, I could just take that card out and save it forever. But once you have it saved in there, then you can go over to a recording device, and the drums come out one channel. The drums and bass come out one channel, the loop comes out another. But what you can do is you record everything to the you record your, like a Reaper I use. Record everything, just the drums to Reaper. Then you record just the bass. They'll match up because they match up. It's all digital. And then if I want to record the loop into that, just to have it like a scratch track, I can do that. But then I'll go back and actually record, the guitar parts on top of it. But no, it's as a recording device, I expect that our recording time, and it has to be quicker, is going to, be a lot quicker now.
Yeah. So let's do that one night this week, just to show what that.
I was going to do today.
The going live again?
No, dumping the tracks.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was talking about. Was dumping the tracks off the trio into.
Yeah, sorry, you started the conversation.
No, that's what I was saying is I was going to dump the tracks from the trio onto the computer.
Okay. Dean says, quote from Z. Frank.
What's that?
Dean says, quote from Z. Frank.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that means, Dean.
Frank Zappa?
Thank you. Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Weekly prep bread is half whole wheat, half white. Yeah. Something.
I think I read most of the other ones.
Cool. All right. It's like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's go do something. We're doing lunch first. We're gonna go in for
Sure.
lunch, or
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
I could go for like Davola or something.
Really? Ooh.
Why is that a surprise?
It was more that it was exciting to me.
We found this Greek place.
Oh yeah.
Spiros.
Yeah. Oh man, that food was amazing.
Our first shot there was really good. Super friendly, attentive staff, very, very super clean.
Yes.
Which I don't know how because they got like the fake vines all over the place, and
not
usually that shit collects dust. No, not a speck of dust.
Portions were gigantic.
Oh my god, they were insane.
For like $15.
I should have like really eaten half of. I got a hero, and it was actually, and I almost didn't get it because every time you get one of those, the fucking meat is like this dried up strips of like steakum fucking stuff. This was like juicy, thick. It was just, oh my god, it was really, really well done. It was fantastic, and tons of food. I should have, like I said, eaten about half of it and then saved it. But wicked good price. I was super happy with the place. But then again, so those things, we have this track record of going to restaurants, and the first time there, we're like super impressed. We'll go back, and it's kind of like, oh, maybe they're having an off day. And then the next time we go back, it's like, wait a minute, this is even worse.
Well, like, in fairness,
I'm hoping that this doesn't happen to this place. So hoping we go back and they're still giving the their A game.
In fairness, we went to Tacos and Beer, and we've been there many times, and it was great. We've been to Davola, and many times it was great.
Yeah, Davola just keeps getting better and better.
The place where we get the breakfast sandwiches, always great.
Yeah. Maybe we've broken that curse.
Maybe. Or just maybe once in a while you're going to hit a restaurant that isn't great.
Well, it seems like everyone, we get excited about a place, and then we'd be like, hey, you want to go here? And we're like, it wasn't that great the last time we were there. But no, it's yeah, you're right. The last few times we've had pretty good luck down here.
Yep.
But
yeah, Spiro's just needed some training for their poor staff. I was waiting for a bunch of plates to just go flying. They kept like just going through their double doors into the kitchen and like hitting up against each other and not seeing each other and be like, oh, sorry. Like it happened over and over again. And I'm like, somebody's going to come through with like 5 plates in their hand, and it's all just going to go flying. But that was the only negative. Everything else there was awesome.
It was negative. It's entertaining.
It was entertaining.
You were stressed out about it. I was like,
I kept seeing people, and the poor bartender kept over and over again just being like, oh, sorry. Like, just go in the right. And it doesn't happen.
Well, they were small. They're small doors.
They were small doors. That's true.
So, but they do have windows. You can look before you just fucking come barreling through.
It was amusing to me for some reason.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. So should we say goodbye?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Problem is, it's like then we have to go do shit.
Yeah, I know.
All right. What?
I was trying to figure out Dean's thing because he said it was something above that, but I'm sorry, Dean, I'm not seeing another message over there. That
we'll figure it out eventually.
We'll figure it out. We'll go back and read everything. Sorry.
All right. You can't see a damn thing. There we go. See you guys.
Bye.